Test. Testing. All right, I think we're live. I'm going to test a couple things out here. Yeah, it looks like we are live. So, welcome to today's office hours. My name is Dusty Bates. Today's November 13th. And if you're watching this, today we're actually streaming also on YouTube. So, if you're watching this after the fact, hello. We have a members group that actually, part of the membership is they have live office hours where we talk usually about a topic that kind of came up, and they get to ask us live questions about whatever they like. So if they have questions on letters of intent or commercial real estate, we'll answer those too. But in the meantime, what we usually do here is I'll choose a topic. This week we've chosen to talk about the basics of commercial real estate land development. I had a question from a residential developer about this. He's looking at investing in some commercial real estate. And I thought this would be a good topic for us to talk about on today's office hours. Sorry about the audio. Sorry about the screen here. I'm actually out of town, so I don't have my full setup. So this is the best we could do for now. So if you've never done this before, feel free to ask any questions you like. And it doesn't have to be on this topic. It can be on any topic at all, anything that you're having trouble with. And we'll answer those live. And in the meantime, I'll just kind of go over this topic, and hopefully this helps as well. With the basics on commercial real estate land development, so I'm assuming you, hopefully, if you're watching this, you already know about zoning and permitted use and stuff like that. And if you don't, in the library that we have, all of those classes, we've got over 55, I think, almost 60 classes on the membership site. One of those is a zoning class. In the interest of time, I would direct you to that. Take that class, come back and talk about this. So I'm going to assume for our purposes that you already know about zoning and permitted use, not permitted use, zone variances, and that whole thing. So in commercial real estate, probably want to focus. There's lots of, there's boat marinas, there's all kinds of stuff in commercial real estate. So specifically, as it pertains to the question I was asked, I'm going to talk about single tenant net leased assets. and how those are developed usually, and kind of the life cycle of that, and probably answer some common questions on that. Now, these could be a bank. My specialty is more along the lines of what's called a QSR, quick serve restaurant or fast food. A lot of our multifamily owners trade out of multifamily into net lease properties like that. So I'll kind of focus on that. But if you have a question about something else, feel free to ask. And what you've probably seen is something called, you've probably seen the signs out there on some vacant land that says for sale or build to suit. And what that means is the owner has a piece of land. They would like to have someone sign a lease or buy it outright for them for a particular property. And so you might be wondering, well, why would you? It's kind of costly, right? I'm going to have to not only find the tenant, but I need to build this whole thing out. Okay, is it permitted? What's the whole issue there? It's going to be time and resources and a lot of money out of my pocket to build this thing out. Well, the answer is that the value in that property, say it's just, we're again talking like a Taco Bell. Some Taco Bell tenant comes along and says, I like your piece of land. Let's build a Taco Bell there. And I'll sign a lease now before you build, contingent on the fact that you're going to build this out for me in Taco Bell. And the value for you as an owner comes in the lease and the tenant, right? So it may cost, $800,000, $1 million, 1.2, 1.5, whatever, to build the site out. But now you've got a brand new building. You've got a Burger King on a 20-year lease with plenty of options. And the value that brings to you is the income stream as the investor. So you might be a developer who just builds these and holds on to them. You may build these and sell them to an investment group. And we'll go into some of that. But the value on these sites is the tenant. And yes, you're usually going to go and find a tenant for the site, hopefully before you even buy it. A lot of times, we'll go into that later, but you're going to want a tenant to sign a lease before you build it, or you can sell it to them outright. And that's what the for sale or build to suit means. And I didn't know how to word this the best. So a tenant's going to have certain criteria that are pretty common among most tenants. Generally speaking, if you're looking at a piece of land, it's going to be better and more valuable the more traffic that goes by it, right? That's kind of like the lifeblood of like a fast food, for example, or Starbucks or what have you. The more traffic that goes by it, the more eyeballs that are able to see the site. So that's more valuable. If there's better ingress or egress, that means better access to and from the site. That's better. So like if you've got a site with a train tracks going along the side, that's going to be less valuable because you've now cut off essentially one whole side from the access to the site. So that's probably going to be less valuable. If it's right next to a freeway with maybe a access to an on-ramp, that's very valuable, right? Because you've got a lot more eyeballs that are going to go see it. So that's what ingress. So that's going to be more valuable. Location too. So like I said, if it's next to a highway or a freeway, and you've got access to that. If it is on a signalized corner, perhaps, now you've got a lot more opportunity for ingress and egress and people stopping, looking, accessing it. There's going to be a lot more traffic because you've got the intersection right there. So you've got traffic from both streets that are going to have access to the property. That's going to make it more valuable. And then depending on the tenant, the demographics of the location. So some tenants are going to want a much more dense location, certain income averages. There's all kinds of factors, actually. When you look at Taco Bell, for example, these companies do tons of research. And Taco Bell, for example, does millions and millions of dollars of research. They can tell you, I've been on calls about this, they can tell you within 1% what your sales are going to be at a new site year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, based on all of the factors of that location. Now, the studies that they do are tens and twenties of thousands of dollars, but they were able to go in and look at a site and say, okay, yeah, that's going to be this much. Guess we want that site. Ooh. So generally speaking, that's what you're going to see with tenants. If you're looking at a piece of land, this is kind of stuff that's going through your head. I'll walk you through some more stuff here where it's actually going to go into further detail depending on the tenant. If you have a tenant, each franchise type is going to have different criteria. Okay, so In-N-Out's going to have different criteria than Starbucks, than McDonald's, right? Or Chick-fil-A. They're all going to have different, so we were back here, right? So there's, generally speaking, some things that'll make things better. More traffic is good. Better access is good. But then there's some specific things that they want. Like In-N-Out, for example, I believe they need sites that are within a half an mile from a freeway. The freeway's traffic needs to be over, I believe, 100,000+. The immediate street that their property would be on, or that they would build the In-N-Out, that needs 50,000 or 40,000, I think is the minimum. And then they've got some criteria on demographics too. So they've got some very specific things that they're looking for. They're not going to go and sign a lease on something that is, 2 miles away from the freeway. That's very uncommon. So if you think about all the In-N-Outs you've seen, almost all of them, I can't think of any, certainly, are within a half a mile of the freeway. And this is just, what they want. Starbucks has their criteria. And what you'll find, and I'm kind of talking about the tenants, but this has something to do with development too. What you're going to find is there's people that'll go out, and a developer will go out, and they will niche themselves in with Starbucks. Okay. Starbucks has regional real estate people you can get in contact with, and they'll tell you what sites are good, what sites are not good, what they're looking for. You can submit sites for approval. And I'm just seeing some questions here. I apologize. And they're not going to go ahead and give us the names of these guys. Facebook doesn't work like that. Are these recorded? Yes, these are all recorded. This time we're actually doing it on YouTube as well. Usually we don't, but every once in a while I figure I'll do this on YouTube. These are the office hours for our members, right? Members pay us a monthly fee. They get to come and ask us any questions we want, or they want. And then we go through a little topic like this every once in a while. So if you have any questions and you're watching, feel free to just ask. So Starbucks has their criteria. Costco, for example, like I think they'll only go on 13 to 15 acre sites, and they've got some very specific criteria about how close to the freeway they are. Now, you'll notice the older ones probably less, less stringent on how close they are to the freeway. But any new Costco's you'll see they're very close to the freeway usually. So you'll see developers will come in. You'll have a guy who is very good at Starbucks. Ooh, not sure what's going on. And they'll ditch down into the Starbucks, the niche, I guess. Not sure what to add on there. Something to be aware of. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do some examples. I'll just pull some stuff up, but something to be aware of. So McDonald's has a practice where what they do, they'll sell a building and go down the road to a better location, but they'll put some restrictions on the land use that the buyer can do it. Anyone, it has to go along with the chain of title. And that is, for 20 years, you essentially can't have any food use at that location. So I've got one in town here that's a perfect spot for Starbucks or what have you. But for the next 15 years, no one can do that because McDonald's sold it. That was part of the sale. is a land use restriction on that use, so no one can have any food use. Oh, give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can get some coffee here. Ooh. So that's all right. So that's something to be aware of too. McDonald's does that. I think Burger King does something like that. I don't think they're as bad, but I do know McDonald's does that. So I'm going to pause this. Throw this back up there. Let's see if I can bring up LoopNet, and we'll just kind of look at some properties. Then I'll just kind of make some comments about it and show you what to look for. All right, let's see here. And again, I'm out of town, so we'll have to change this up. We'll do this. There we go. And you should be able to see LoopNet now. I wonder what's going on here. All right, I'm not even going to log in. Let's do this. Let's go look for some land. See, I'm a developer. I'm looking for some land. I want to go. Let's do my hometown of Sacramento. Let's see what we can find. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, you guys can see. All right. So just looking at land. So we're going to be more specific because I'm more of a net lease guy. So we're going to filter. Come on. Yeah, so we'll just say commercial land. We'll see what pops up. All right, so let's see if we can find some good sites here. That one's good. That one's good. And that one's interesting. This one's listed for 1.5 and also 540. And what's going on there? All right, so take a look. We're talking about land development here, right? Let's see. There we go. This guy's got some better info. Hopefully you can see this. He's got this cars per day. 149,000 right here. This is obviously not. It's going to be more of a probably an office building right here, but there's your visibility. You can see that you've got parking for probably an office complex. And that'd be a decent little site. Looks like they've got some drawings, so they've probably got this ready to develop. If someone were to come in and buy it from them, they could probably buy that too. Check this out. Look at this infill piece. This might be a good little, I don't know, gas station or little strip, perhaps. Probably not a single tenant thing, but this would be a nice little spot. Oh, it looks like they're developing it for land or multifamily. All right. You could do that too. So it's offered at 2.3. So this is just a side point. 2.3 probably includes all the entitlement work too. So they're ready for you to come in and start moving dirt around, likely, at this location. So those are some of the things to look for. Close proximity to the freeway. Let's see here. We got any questions? I don't see any questions, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. What else we got? Let's see. So I'm not even logged in here. So this is all free for me to go look at. I'm missing out on a bunch of stuff probably. Yeah. So someone will come in here as a developer, say, I'm just using this as an example. I'll identify that Starbucks likes, well, that's another thing is cannibalization. So Starbucks doesn't want to be too close to another store because they're going to cannibalize their sales, right? Because of the way they are, they can actually be very close, but they can't be too close because they don't want the sales from one store to eat up the sales from another store. So, but you find out what Starbucks wants. You'll come in, you'll identify a piece of land with those criteria, and then what you do is you'll pass it by Starbucks. You may not even be in contract yet. You'll pass it by our Starbucks contact. You'll say, yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll do this lease. And then you go and you buy it, right? And usually at some point during due diligence, or I'm sorry, during contract stage, you get that signed by the, probably some letter of intent signed by the tenant for, contingent on you closing. And then you take the letter of intent, you take that to the bank, you secure your financing for developing it actually. So you're not going to even need all the money for a cash purchase. You can have everything lined up before close, essentially. Check this out. Isn't that cool? Questions about malls? I can answer questions about malls. I don't know them too well. So again, most of my stuff is net lease properties. But if you have a question, let me know, man. Where'd my screen go? There we go. I'm not sure what's up with my throat today. Sorry about that. Let's see if we can find a fast food pad. A lot of times what you'll see too. So you've got say this is a new development right here, right? So they put them all in. They put like there's large stores, big box stores and Safeway and Winco and stuff like that. Some of these out parcels will be separately parceled, right? So you've ever seen like something like this where there's your big stores. Then out front, for example, right here, you've got Panera Bread and Chipotle in this little building right here. A lot of times they'll separate those parcels out during development and then they'll just sell those to someone who wants to handle that later. And they'll kind of parcel out the sales of this different stuff as it goes. So these things here could be on a different parcel. This subject property obviously is just a bulldoze something that they had there, and they're looking to redevelop it or sell to someone who's going to redevelop it. Let's see here. But I mean, that's it, guys. Like I said, I usually go over a topic here. It's been about a half an hour. Unless I have questions, there's no reason for us to keep going. Yeah. Hopefully this helps. If you see this video later, go ahead and you have questions, go ahead and type them in the comments below. We usually respond pretty quickly. And if you're not signed up, if you're seeing this on YouTube, for example, let's see here. Here's a couple things here. You can sign up at straighttalkacademy.com. There's a monthly fee. Sign up for as long as you like, quit whenever you want. Usually these office hours aren't on YouTube. Usually they're just on our private Facebook group where they ask us questions. We've got over 55 classes. All of our tools and resources as commercial real estate agents is in there. Our scripts, absolutely everything. So if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and head over there and take a look. And so hopefully this helped. Again, if there's any questions, go ahead and type them in the comments below. Let's see here. And we will see you next time.